Well, that wasn't creepy. Hello and welcome to a new series here on the channel. So we're going to be playing Planescape Torment, and it's the Enhanced Edition. So this game originally came out in 1999 and it was done by Black Isle Studios. So they're the same guys that did Fallout 2, Baldur's Gate and a whole bunch of amazing games. But then the studio didn't go bust. Their parent company Interplay got into some financial difficulty and they ended up sacking the entire Black Isle studio while the guys were working on the original Fallout 3 and I believe another Baldur's Gate game as well. But as you see, the game has some pretty good pedigree, and this one here is actually an enhanced edition, so it's only come out recently, and it's by Chris Avalon, who was the original lead designer on the original game, and with Beamdog Studios. So it's definitely a nice game to be playing. I'm really excited to do it because although I played a lot of Black Isle games back in the day, I never actually played Planescape, so I definitely want to see what it's all about. So let's start with a new life. For me, I like to play kind of magey, wizardy, priesty characters. So for when we're looking here at the wheel, we've got intelligence, strength, wisdom, constitution, character and dexterity. So I like to have a high, okay, so it says there that I've got your intelligence is exceptional, so that's good. Then let's up my wisdom as well because I like to have high wisdom. You possess exceptional wisdom and willpower. Okay, so then as you can see, I started with 21 points, so now I've got 9 points left to assign. I think I'm going to put some into character. Okay, some into dexterity, and then I think the rest into constitution. Okay, and then we're going to be playing the nameless one because you don't actually have a name in this game. Okay, and I think that's pretty much it. So I will warn you though before I hit accept here and start the game that I am going to be doing voices there are a lot of characters in the game with dialogue, so I'm going to be doing voices. The voices aren't going to be great, they're probably not even going to be good, but I'm going to be doing them anyway. And also the voices for different characters will probably change, not just within the series but within even like a sentence or something, because it's very hard to remember exactly what tone to give each character, but I'm going to give it a go anyway. And also I have played through some of the game previously, so I know a little bit about the start, just to check whether it worked with my recording software and stuff. And one of the things that I discovered is that it doesn't like, this game and Bandicam, when the game is in full screen mode, they don't play nice together. So I'm playing it in a Windows mode, which is probably going to mean that there's going to be maybe a black space on either side because the resolution is a different size to what I'm recording in. Okay, so here we go.
Hey, Chief, you okay? You playing corpse or you putting the blinds on the dusties? I thought you were a deader for sure.
So here's the first of the many strange characters we're going to meet in this game, and it's one of the great things that that drew me to play this game is the fact that there's so many quirky characters in it, and it's not kind of it's not kind of a typical RPG game. And I probably should have said at the start that it is an RPG, but looking at the starting screen and this screen, you probably figured that out for yourself. But let's get going. Who are you? Who am I? How about you start? Who are you? I don't know. I can't remember. You can't remember your name? Well, next time you spend a night in this burg, go easy on the bub. Name's Mort. I'm trapped in here too. Trapped? Yeah. Since you haven't had the time to get your legs yet, here's the chant. I tried all the doors, and this room is locked tighter than a chastity belt. We're locked in where? What is this place? It's called the Mortuary. It's a big black structure with all the architectural charm of a pregnant spider. The Mortuary? What? Am I dead? Not from where I'm standing. You got scars aplenty though. Looks like some Burke painted you with a knife. All the more reason to give this place the laugh before someone carves you up. Before whoever carved you up comes back to finish the job. Scars? How bad are they? Well, the carvings on your chest aren't too bad, but the ones on your back... Mort pauses. Say, looks like you got a whole tattoo gallery on your back, Chief. Spells out something. Tattoos on my back? What do they say? Huh. Looks like you come with directions. Let's see. It starts with... I know you feel like you've been drinking a few kegs of Styx wash, but you need to center yourself. Among your possessions is a journal. That'll shed some light on the dark of the matter. Farod can fill you in on the rest of the chant. It's not in the dead book already. If it's not in the dead book already. Farod. Does it say anything else? Yeah, there's a bit more. Let's see. It goes on. Don't lose the journal or we'll be up the sticks again. And wherever you do, do not tell anyone who you are or what happens to you, or they'll put you on a quick pilgrimage to the crematorium. Do what I tell you. Read the journal, then find Farod. No wonder my back hurts. That's a damn novel written there. As for that journal I'm supposed to have with me, was there one with me while I was lying here? No, you were stripped to the skin when you arrived here. Sides, look like you got enough of a journal penned on your back. What about Farod? Do you know him? Nobody I know, but then again, I don't know many people. Still, some Burks got to know where to find Farod. Once we get out of here, that is. How do we get out of here? Well, all the doors are locked, so we need the key. Chances are one of the walking corpses in this room has it. Walking corpses? Yeah, the mortuary keeper used dead bodies as cheap labor. The corpses are dumb as stones, but they're harmless. I won't attack you unless you attack first. Is there some other way? I don't want to kill them just for a key. What? You think it's gonna hurt their feelings? They're dead. But if you want the bright side to this, if you kill them, at least they'll have a rest before their keepers raise them up to work again. Well, alright. I'll take one of them down and get the key. Well, before you do that, arm yourself first. I think there's a scalpel on one of the shelves around here. Alright, I'll look for one. One last thing. Those corpses are slow as molasses. Getting punched by one of them is like being kissed by a battering ram. If they start getting an edge on you, remember you can run and they can't. Use it to keep some distance if you need to recover. Alright, thanks for the advice. Okay, so we need to find the scalpel. Luckily, because I have played before, I know where it is. But give me a second here to put my notebook away. You go under there. Okay, good. Yeah, so we're gonna come over here and search here. Okay, that gives us 2 bandages. And then the scalpel is in this one here. There we go. Alright, you found the scalpel. Now, go get those corpses. And don't worry, I'll stay back and provide valuable tactical advice. Maybe you could help me, Mort? I will be helping you. Good advice is hard to come by. I am at help in attacking the corpse. Me? I'm a romantic, not a soldier. I'll just get in the way. Alright then. Time to introduce these corpses to the second death then. Let's go. Okay, so now I have to go to my inventory screen, which is over here. And then grab the scalpel and pop it there. And now he has it equipped in his hand. Good. Okay, so let's go look at the corpses. So I know which one has the key, but it's always nice to examine each one because the game studio spent a lot of time writing kind of a background for every single zombie worker in the game, so I like to read them at least. This shambling corpse looks like it has been dead for several years. The skin along its forehead has peeled back, revealing its chalk white skull. Someone has chiseled the number 569 into the exposed bone. So we could ask him about the key, and we could either do that or examine him. Okay, so let's examine and see what that says. This corpse doesn't appear to be carrying a key, and it doesn't look like it would be able to use one if it did. Its fingers are broken, as if someone smashed them with a hammer. You do happen to notice that its left shoulder is heavily bandaged. The bandages might be usable if the corpse was disposed of first. So if we kill him, we could get some bandages. Okay, and let's leave him. Then the next guy here, let's go and say hi. This corpse head lolls back and forth on its shoulders. Judging from the angle of its neck, it looks like this man may have been hanged. The number 825 has been painted on the side of his head. Okay, let's ask him and see what happens. I'm looking for a key. Do you happen to have one? Chief, they can't hear you, alright? They're dead. But you're dead and you're talking to me. Yeah, but I'm special. Death couldn't kill my zest for life. These corpses here, Mort rolls his eyes, they probably didn't have much personality to begin with. I see. Look, Chief. Watching you trying to swap chant with these corpses isn't doing much for my morale. Let's leave the corpse talk for the barmies, alright? Alright then, let's go. So we got to go to this guy, because we know that he does have the key. This corpse stops and stares blankly at you as you approach. The number 782 is carved into his forehead, and his lips have been stitched closed. The faint smell of formaldehyde emanates from the body. Let's examine the corpse. This corpse looks like the one with the key. It's holding it tightly in its left hand. Its thumb and forefinger locked around it in a death grip. It looks like you'll need to hack the corpse's hand off to free the key. I need that key, corpse. Looks like you're not long for this world. Okay, and oh, nice critical to start. And he keeps missing us, which is nice. Okay, so there we go. And it's a bit weird, but the key looks like a screw. At least to me. But we'll take that. And we got ourselves 65 experience. So now let's get ourselves over in this direction. And this is the door we want to go through. So this door here is locked. But now this door was locked, but we have the key for it. So let's get ourselves through here. Psst! Some advice, Chief. I'd keep it quiet from here on. No need to put any more corpses in the dead book than necessary, especially the femmes. Plus, killing them might draw the caretakers here. I don't think you mentioned it before. Who are these caretakers? They call themselves the Dustmen. You can't miss them. They have an obsession with black and rigor mortis of the face. They're an adult bunch of ghoulish death worshippers. They believe everybody should die, sooner better than later. I'm confused. Why did these Dustmen care if I escape? Weren't you listening? I said the Dusties believe everybody's gotta die. Sooner better than later. You think the corpses you've seen are happier in the dead book than out of it? The corpses I've seen here, where did they all come from? Death visits the plains every day, Chief. These shamblers are all that's left of the poor sods who sold their bodies to the caretakers after death. Before you said something about making sure I didn't kill any female corpses. Why? What? Are you serious? Look, Chief, these dead chits are the last chance for a couple of hardy bashers like us. We need to be chivalrous. No hacking them up for keys. No lopping off their limbs. Things like that. Last chance. What are you talking about? Chief, they're dead. We're dead. See where I'm going? Eh? Eh? No. No, I don't actually. Chief, we already got an opening line with these limping ladies. We've all died at least once. We'll have something to talk about. They'll appreciate men with our kind of death experience. Wait, didn't you say before that I'm not dead? Well, alright, you might not be dead, but I am. And from where I'm standing, I wouldn't mind sharing a coffin with some of these fine, sinewy cadavers I see here. Mort starts clacking his teeth as if in anticipation. Of course, the caretakers would have to part with them first, and that's not likely. But where did all these corpses come from? Death visits the plains every day, Chief. These shamblers are all that's left of the poor sods who sold their bodies to the caretakers after death. Alright, I'll try to remember that. Look, Chief, it's obvious you're still a little addled from your kiss with Death, so I've got two bits of advice for you. One, if you got questions, ask me, alright? Alright, if I have any questions, I'll ask you. Second, if you're half as forgetful as you seem to be, start writing stuff down. Whenever you come across something that might be important, jot it down so you don't forget. If I had that journal I was supposed to have with me, I'd do that. Start a new one then, Chief. No loss. There's plenty of parchment and ink around here to last you. Alright, it couldn't hurt. I'll make a new one then. Use it to keep track of your movements. If you ever start to get cloudy on important things like who you are, or more importantly, who I am, use it to refresh your memory. Alright, I got it. Let's go.
Updated my journal.
Okay, so let's have a look around this area. One thing about playing it in Windows mode is that my mouse doesn't scroll the view, so I have to use the arrow keys to do that. Okay, so let's get ourselves through here. Oh no, I'll come back to look at those zombies. Okay, so we got this place to search as well, but before I end the episode, I want to introduce a new character. So we've got that Dal here. This scribe looks very old. His skin is wrinkled, has a slight trace of yellow, like old parchment. Charcoal grey eyes lie within an angular face, and a large white beard flows down the front of his robes, like a waterfall. His breathing is ragged and irregular, but even his occasional coughing does not slow the scratching of his quill pen. Greetings! Whoa, Chief, what are you doing? I was going to speak with the scribe. He might know something about how I got here. Look, rattling your bone box with Dusty should be the last thing. Before Mort can finish his rant, the scribe begins coughing violently. After a moment or two, the coughing spell dies down, and the scribe's breathing resumes its ragged wheeze. And we especially shouldn't be swapping the chant with sick Dusties. Come on, let's leave. The quicker we can give this place the laugh, the better. Before Mort can finish, the scribe's grey eyes flick to you. The weight of years hangs heavy upon me, restless one. He places down his quill. But I do not yet count deafness among my ailments. Restless one, do you know me? Know you, There's a trace of bitterness in the scribe's voice as he speaks. I have never known you, restless one. No more than you have known yourself. For you have forgotten, have you not? Who are you? As always, the question, and the wrong question, as always. He bows slightly. I am Dal. Perhaps you can answer some questions for me, Dal.
Updated my journal.
Very well. What did you wish to know? What is this place? You are in the Mortuary, restless one. Again you have come. This is the waiting room for those about to depart the shadow of this life. Restless one? Restless is as good a term as any. Something keeps you here, does it not? Something that must be resolved. Some passion that must be quenched before you can reach the true death. True death? True death is non-existence, a state devoid of reason, of sensation, of passion. A state of purity. Sounds like oblivion. Why would anyone want that? Is it worse than remaining in this shadow of what life once was? I think not. Shadow of life? Yes, a shadow. You see, restless one, this life, it is not real. Your life, my life, they are shadows, flickerings of what life once was. This life is where we end up after we die, and here we remain, trapped, caged, until we can achieve the true death. Tell me some more about the mortuary. This is where the dead are brought to be interred or cremated. It is our responsibility as dustmen to care for the dead, those who have left this shadow of life and walked the path to true death. Your wounds must have exacted a heavy toll if you do not recognize this place. It is almost your home. What makes you think this life isn't real? What makes you think this life is real? Look inside yourself. Do you not feel something lacking? Dal shakes his head. This is a purgatory. There is only sorrow here, misery, torment. These are not the elements that make up life. They are part of the cage that traps us in the shadow. I think your fatalism has gotten the better of you. Those elements are part of life, but not the whole of it. Dal shakes his head. Passions carry weight. They anchor many to the shadow of life. As long as one clings to emotion, they will be continually reborn into this life, forever suffering, never knowing the purity of true death. I see. How does one escape the cycle of rebirth and achieve this true death? Kill your passions. Strip yourself of the need for sensation. When you are truly cleansed, then the cycle of rebirth will end, and you achieve peace. Past these shells of ours, past the eternal boundary, lies the peace that all souls seek. The eternal boundary? The boundary between the shadow of this life and the true death. I see. I have some more questions. Do you know who I am?
Updated my journal.
I know scant little of you, restless one. I know little more of those that have journeyed with you and who now lie in our keeping. I ask that you no longer ask others to join with you, restless one. Where you walk, so walks misery. Let your burden be your own.
There are others who will journey with me, and they are here.
Updated my journal.
Do you not know the woman's corpse interred in the memorial hall below? I had thought that she had traveled with you in the past.
Dal looks like he's about to start coughing again, then catches his breath.
Am I mistaken?
Where is her body?
The Northwest Memorial Hall, on the floor below us. Check the bier there. Her name should be on one of the memorial plaques. Mayhap they will revive your memory.
I don't know. I don't recall ever traveling with a woman. Dal makes no response to this. He simply stares at you in silence. Before you said there were others interred here who journeyed with me. Where are they?
Doubtless there are, but I know not their names, nor where they lie. One such as you has left a path many have walked, and few have survived.
Dal gestures around you.
All dead come here. Some must have traveled with you once.
I find no fault with your reasoning. I had some other questions. Can you tell me how to get out of here?
The front gate is the most obvious exit, but they will not let anyone other than dustmen pass. One of the guides by the front gate has a key to it, but it is unlikely he will open it for you unless you are extremely persuasive.
I see. I had some other questions. What do you do here?
I am a scribe, a cataloger of all the shells that come to the mortuary. As long as the stream of corpses flows through the mortuary, I shall remain at my post.
You say that I have been here more than once. How is it that the dustmen do not recognize me?
Updated my journal.
I am the one that catalogues the shells that come to our halls, restless one. Only I see the faces of those that lie upon our slabs. The dark of your existence lies safe with me.
I had some other questions. You sound ill. Are you not well?
I am close now to the true death, restless one. It will not be long before I pass beyond the eternal boundary and find the peace I have been seeking. I tire of this mortal sphere. The plains hold no more wonder for one such as I.
Are you certain? There might be some way I could help you.
I do not wish to live forever, nor live again, restless one. I could not bear it.
Very well, I had some other questions. How did I get here? Dal snorts in contempt, as if he finds the memory repugnant.
Your moldy chariot ferried you to the mortuary, restless one. You would think you were royalty based on the number of loyal subjects that lay stinking and festering upon the cart that carried you.
I arrived here on a cart.
Updated my journal.
Yes. Your body was somewhere in the middle of the heap, sharing its fluids with the rest of the mountain of corpses. Your seneschal, Farod, was, as always, pleased to accept a few moldy coppers to dump the lot of you at the mortuary gate.
Who is this Farod?
He is a collector of the dead. We have such people in our city that scavenge the bodies of those that have walked the path of true death and bring them to us so that they may be interred properly.
Where can I find this Farod?
If events persist as they have, Restless One, you have a much greater chance of Farod finding you and bringing you to us again before you find whatever ooze puddle he wallows in this time.
Nevertheless, I must find him. A slight warning creeps into Dal's voice.
Do not seek out Farod, Restless One. I am certain that it will simply come full circle again, with you none the wiser and Farod a few coppers richer. Accept death, Restless One. Do not perpetuate your circle of misery.
I have to find him. Do you know where he is?
Updated my journal.
Dal is silent for a moment. When he finally speaks, he seems to do so reluctantly.
I do not know under which gutterstone Farod lairs at the moment, but I imagine that he can be found somewhere beyond the mortuary gates, in the hive. Perhaps someone there will know where you can find him.
Doesn't sound like you like Farod much.
There are some I respect, Restless One. Farod is not one of them. He weaves his ill repute. He wears his ill repute like a badge of honor and takes liberties with the possessions of the dead. He is a knight of the post, cross-trading filth of the lowest sort.
Knight of the Post?
A knight of the post, a thief. All Farod brings to our walls comes stripped of a little less of their dignity than they possessed in life. Farod takes wherever he may pry from their stiffened fingers.
Did this Farod take anything from me? Dal pauses, considering.
Most likely. Are you missing anything? Especially anything of value?
His voice dips as he frowns.
Not that Farod would take exception to anything that wasn't physically grafted to your body, and sometimes even that's not enough to give his greedy mind pause.
I am missing a journal.
A journal? If it was of any value, then it likely lies in Farod's hands.
I see. I had some other questions. And actually, I don't think we do have any more questions for Dal. And we certainly don't have any more time, but let's finish this little bit. As you turn to leave, Dal speaks.
Know this. I do not envy you, Restless One. To be reborn as you would be a curse that I could not bear. You must come to terms with it. At some point your path will return you here. It is the way of all things flesh and bone.
Then perhaps we will meet again, Dal. Okay. But that is us out of time for this particular episode. So I really do hope to see you all next time. Goodbye.